There he is, buddy. Net. Here he comes. He's wild. Getting through this. Yes, sir.
Wave Beats Music.
What's up, folks? We are rolling down the highway, and we are headed to the 2022 MLF All-American Lake Hamilton in Hot Springs, Arkansas. I am excited to be doing this. It has been a long time coming. Last time I made the All-American, I was a much younger man. It was in 2006. We fished the All-American in Hartford, Connecticut. That was a really memorable tournament for me. I met some really good friends up there. Really put everything I had in the time. You know, I was a young pup, and I was really, ambitious, and at the time kind of really wanted to fish. That was my thing. It was before I owned Wiedas Marine, and I was a young salesman. And that tournament, I had some good memories from it, but I had some bad memories from it. First day of that tournament didn't go real well, and tried to access a place, and I couldn't get into it. Kind of spun out a little bit, and then I rebounded the second day. Had a nice bag the second day, but it was kind of too little too late. So, been a long time coming to get back to the All-American. Qualified for this at Wheeler Lake, Alabama. I finished second in the regional there, but really looking forward to getting to Hot Springs. It's actually my second trip here, so I've already been here during the pre-practice before our off limits, and scouted the lake, fished it. Have mixed feelings. I had some good days, I had some bad days. Did a lot of graphing. The graphing didn't pay off at the time. It's a brush pile lake, so I found a lot of brush. And I didn't catch hardly any fish off the brush in the pre-practice. So that's been a few weeks ago. We've had a lot of weather. It's been a lot hotter. So I'm hoping some of the fish. Let me stop that. I'm hoping the fish don't move to the brush. For me to do well in this tournament, I'm counting on there still being a late spawn going on. With that new moon coming, I feel there's going to be one last wave of spawners, and I'm kind of counting on some of that delayed spawn. I feel stronger when the fish are shallow, and that's what I'm hoping for. But I'm not a fool either. I know a lot of them are going to go offshore, and that's why I spent so much time graphing. So, but really excited. This time I got my whole family with me back here. Some of them are sleeping, some of them are awake, but wife and family's going with me. So no matter how we do, it's going to be a memorable experience for them to travel. It's kind of like their first big tournament they've been to with me. So check back in with you here when we get ready to start practicing. All right, folks, we're actually going to start this footage out before the actual practice. We headed down. Me and Cole actually made a quick trip down to Hot Springs before the off-limits period, so we headed down in mid-May. And, the first day I wanted to see the whole lake. So the first day I drove the entire lake. I looked at it from dam to dam, which, you can't do that on every lake, but Hamilton was pretty small. So we checked out everything, and the second day here, you're going through the footage, we're looking at kind of the things that I dialed in on. I basically decided I liked the river. I decided that I liked the area down by the dam, and then I kind of settled in areas that I wanted to graph for brush. Also some backs of creeks. I saw some backs of creeks. I didn't get to fish them, and I wanted to fish them on this second day here. So what you're going to watch here is kind of how I broke down the lake, how we moved around, and some of the areas that I fished here in pre-practice are the areas that I actually fished in the tournament. One thing specifically, when I saw fish spawning, I knew a lot of the real shallow backwaters, the bass would be spawned out when I came back, or I assumed they would, and I assumed right. But I looked for areas that didn't get as much light. I looked for deeper bedding areas, and I looked for areas that they weren't as isolated from the current. Kind of knowing typically where I'm from, those are where the fish will spawn later. So day one here, this is our pre-practice.
better one. That's a better one.
Why do the fish always live right where the boat can't go no further, huh? They're smart, ain't they? Yeah. After day 2 of pre-practice, I felt basically I knew that I liked this river. We didn't catch a ton of fish in the river, but the quality up there and the quality that I saw throwing a glide bait and stuff, it was good enough that I knew they lived up there. I knew there was a better population in my mind of 2.5 to, we saw a lot of 4 and 5 pounders, honestly, but there was a good population of fish up there. I also felt pretty good that I found a lot of brush. I didn't feel confident that I could catch fish out of brush. They really weren't in the brush. We caught a few, but I felt like the hours that I spent graphing were well worth the time that I located a lot of brush. And so as I'm kind of leaving Hot Springs, Arkansas, I'm kind of developing a game plan in my mind of how I'm going to attack the official practice and the event. All right, so we're going to fast forward through practice. Unfortunately, I had some awesome practice footage, but I lost my entire GoPro at Yolatech. So I got in some rough water on the first day of practice, and I lost my GoPro setup. So unfortunately, I didn't get a lot of good footage of pre-practice. But basically what happened was we tried the backs of the creeks with a buzz bait, and it was very bad. I couldn't get bit on the buzz bait like I did in that pre-practice. I got some flipping fish in the backs of the creeks. I didn't like it. The time that it took to get to the backs of these creeks was too time consuming. We ran a lot of brush. I was able to get bit on brush, but I learned real quick that I got bit on the brush a lot better in the late afternoon when the sun got up. Day 1 of practice, I got to go up the river. I was very disappointed with my entire day 1 of practice, but I did have a little redeeming light at the end of the day. I went up the river, and to my delight, I saw a few fish on the bed. So my official practice day on Wednesday, I decided that I would spend the entire first day fishing shallow in the water willow grass and doing a little more graphing. And I did that at noon. I committed. I went up the river, and I spent a solid 3 hours doing nothing but looking for bedfish. And I specifically looked for shallow bedfish because I knew the first day it was going to rain, and I would need the shallow ones that I could see easier on a rainy day, and then I would save the deep ones for day 2, and then day 3 we would just have to see how it worked out. So that was my practice. Basically, my intent was to sight fish day 1.
Sean Wieda from Alexandria, Kentucky, coming up. He's from the Mountain Division. Got his whole crew with him. Got his bodyguards. That's what that is.
Fish carriers.
How's Sean doing?
Doing good.
Good to see you, buddy. Got a 5 bass lemon bag today. Good job out there. 5 that's going to weigh 12 pounds, 8 ounces. That's going to move you in about 3rd place right now, so good job. We're going to hand these off. Daniel will have them right there. All right. I know you don't want to tell us how you caught them, but can you catch me 5 tomorrow?
Well, we're going to try. We're going to do everything we can. I mean, the thing is, on this lake is I caught fish, 20 feet deep. I caught fish 6 inches deep today. I mean, and that's kind of the mentality I had when I came here is you don't know where your next bite's going to come. You just got to keep going and going and going. So we left them biting and spent the last couple hours kind of looking around some more and trying some new water. So just try everything we can tomorrow.
Well, you got to make that cut and get into Saturday to win this thing, so good luck. Thank y'all for coming up. Give him a big round of applause. I know they want him to hold a couple of fish up over there for us.
For 12. Thank you.
Got it? Need that?
I think that's a keeper. I'm glad that wasn't a big one. That's not a keeper, right? Yeah.
That might be 12.
No.
Sure, man, just imagine.
It's 11. Buddy, you're
Touching? Fish tail touching, I think.
none of that. There he is, buddy. Net. Here he comes. He's wild. Get him. Ooh, yes. Yes, sir.
Got him.
That's what I'm talking about right there, boys. You find him, you catch him. I said hi to you yesterday. Wow, he won't calm down. Here we go.
That's what you need. 3rd place in the All-American yesterday. Coming into today. That's what I need. I know.
Next up, Sean Wieda from Alexandria, Kentucky, fishing on the boater side from that mountain division. Brought us 12 pounds, 8 ounces yesterday. Needs 11 pounds, 13 ounces to take the lead. He's got a 5 bass limit in the bag again.
Yes, sir.
Going to weigh 10 pounds, 4 ounces. That does move you into second place right now, Sean. I'm going to hand those off. Good job out there, buddy.
Thank you, sir. We're excited to make it this far along, and you know, kind of had some plans and stuck with them. You know, today I really backed off what I was doing, and I spent about half a day practicing. I probably could improve my weight a little bit more, but I'm hoping that pays off, leaving a little something for seed tomorrow.
Well, number one right there, you've got your opportunity. We'll see if it holds for you. You got some pretty good sticks out there in that line behind you. But if you got to make it to tomorrow to go catch them again. So we wish you the best of luck. Thank you for bringing your crew up here. Give him a big round of applause. I think they're going to get some pictures.
All right, here we go. From Alexandria, Kentucky, qualified through the Mountain Division of the Phoenix Bass Fishing League, had 12-8 on day 1, 10 pounds, 4 ounces on day 2, had him in 3rd place with 22 pounds and 12 ounces. Let's hear it for Sean Wieda. There we go. Sean, to dethrone Connor Cunningham, you need 9 pounds, 15 ounces. The Phoenix Boats hot seat is empty. Your 2 go 3-7, just 9-15, Sean. Bring it home to the Bluegrass State, Kentucky. 4 and 5, take them to the front. Take them to the front. A 5 bass limit for Sean Wieda on Championship Saturday. A limit of bass. Good job, Sean. Thank you. You're looking for 9 pounds, 15 ounces. Starting to put some pressure on Connor Cunningham. 5 worth. 9 even. 31 pounds, 12 ounces. So you barely missed clipping him. Let's go talk about it. Wow. Sean, so close. Needed 9-15, you had 9. But it is payday for the old Kentucky boy.
Well, I'll tell you what, this old Kentucky boy is happy to be in Hot Springs this week. And what a wonderful event. I made my last All-American in 2006, so it's been a long time. And this time I'm so excited to have my family with me and traveling. And, you know, it's been a great week, you know. That was a big gap I to make up to try to go for the win. But,
sure.
You know, it's been a great week, and it's been exciting how we've been fishing.
Absolutely, man. What part of Kentucky are you from? Is it Lexington area?
I'm from up by northern Kentucky.
So I knew you were in the
Florence,
Mountain Division.
Yeah, Florence, Alexandria. Grew up on the Ohio River, and then kind of transitioned more to the mountain lakes over the years fishing. So
it's one of the toughest divisions there is.
Absolutely, and you know that's a lot of that experience I relied on this week at Lake Hamilton. I pre-practiced, and you know when I came down here and pre-practiced, the fish were spawning, and I never in my wildest dreams thought I'd be fishing for spawners here. But I basically spent most of this tournament sight fishing. I practiced everything but sight fishing, practiced offshore brush, got hours and hours idling. But, this cold water coming out of Ouachita Lake, the river up there, the fish spawn later.
Sure. And,
it was one of my favorite ways to fish is sight fishing or blind sight fishing where, sometimes, I think I had probably three actual sight fish every day, and the rest of them we'd skip a wacky rig Senko around.
Yep.
And just kind of got a little tougher every day, and I knew that was going to happen.
Absolutely. Who do you have here, Sean?
Well, this is my little crew here. This is Austin, Savannah, and Sierra, and they are all great fishermen as well. They love
I guarantee
fish.
you, man.
Yeah.
I'm raising them right.
Absolutely.
I'm going to see them on this stage one day.
Absolutely. But, it's just, again, very humble to make it back the All-American, and, this is grassroots fishing. This is the working man Super Bowl right
Absolutely.
here for all the grinders and all the guys that are taking off and heading out Friday night and getting in the tournament. This is what you strive for, and we appreciate MLF for putting it on and bringing us here.
Love this guy. It's payday for you, Sean. Let's have a big round of applause for Sean Wieda from the Bluegrass state of Kentucky. Great tournament for you, Sean. He sits in second place with 31 pounds, 12 ounces, and we have 2 left. Who's next?
All right, folks, it is the end of a long journey, and we're rolling back home. We're finally in the Bluegrass state here, and you know, rolling through some beautiful horse country. And you know, definitely I'm excited that we finished third. You know, it was kind of a recap of the tournament. You know, it was a challenging practice. You know, it was very, very hot during practice, and you know, my first what they gave us that Monday, that unofficial practice day. You know, it was a pretty tough day. You know, I had planned on checking a lot of offshore brush, and I'd also planned on doing a lot of shallow buzzbait fishing and water willow grass and things like that. And, man, I really had a tough morning there in that first morning of practice. So we went, and at the end of the day, I went up the river, and I just had maybe a vibe that maybe with the cold water that came out of Ouachita Dam, maybe those fish spawned late. I didn't get up there till late on that day, and I saw a couple on the bed, and I said, okay, I got to go back during official practice and look. So I spent the Wednesday, the official practice, kind of still trying to find another bite. You know, I really felt okay running some pockets with a buzzbait and fishing a little bit of brush, but man, we went up that river and I really found some spawners. And so I looked at the forecast, and I knew it was going to rain the first day. And I thought to myself, you know, if I go up that river, I can see. I feel like I can see better than a lot of people can in the water. I mean, it's one of my talents, is I can see really well, sight fish. And I said, you know, I'm going to run around and I'll find as many shallow bed fish, because I knew the shallow ones I would need to catch on the rainy day, and I would save the deep ones. Deep meaning like 3 to 4 foot ones, okay? I knew I couldn't see those on a rainy day. So I would, you know, day one, that's what I did. You know, day one, I ran right to the shallow bed fish. The conditions were awful for sight fishing. Actually, they were worse than I thought they were going to be, but I was fortunate that I was able to, you know, purely sight fish 3 of my better fish, and in the rest of them, you know, I caught wacky rigging Senko, which, you know, I did catch, and I failed to mention that here, is that official practice day, I did get a ton of bites on a wacky rig Senko, which, you know, a lot of those fish are fish that are spawning you just can't see. But you can kind of imagine as you go down the bank where they'd set up, or sometimes you'd see a light spot or a dark spot, and that's where we'd throw. So, you know, day one went pretty good. You know, we had that, you know, 12 and a half something pounds, and we left some of the nicer fish on the bed for the next day. Next day, you know, we started out strong and got bit pretty quick. I was able to boat 2. And that's what you're going to see in my footage. Unfortunately, looks like we lost quite a bit of good footage down there, which, guys, that's something I'm going to try to work on. You know, we lost a GoPro on the official practice day. We lost a GoPro in the rough water, the yellow tech, everything. I don't know. It was on all day. We had some awesome footage, and it flew off. But I digress. That second day, we got some good footage, and I caught two bedfish, one blindly where I knew where he was, and caught a lot of fish. My co-angler caught a lot of fish, and final day, championship day, I knew that there was such a deficit but behind, you know, first place and third place, that, you know, you never want to think that you can't win, because anything could happen. The leader could have blanked, but what we didn't want to do is we didn't want to go down. So originally I had wanted to save some backs of some creeks that I was going to buzzbait frog. And I just told myself, you know, I said I could kind of really tell that morning that the conditions were going to be really tough. And, you know, I had the vibe I needed to go back up the river. And in retrospect, I'm glad I did, because the bite was extremely tough. The entire field struggled. Even the winner had a little bit tougher day. So last day was very brutal, though. A lot of the bass had left the beds that were still left spawning. I had to go and, I believe I caught my first couple fish were suspended under docks. So they'll do that when they get done spawning. And it was a deal where I saw 4 or 5, but if I did not skip that Senko in and get it in front of their face, within seconds of seeing them, they were gone. And the boat would spook them. So we did get some good ones there. Later in the day, we actually found some deeper bed fish. One that I'd found on the first day of practice was still there, but it was the brightest day that I could see the best. It was about a 2 3/4 pounder, which ended up being my best fish of the day, but it was very hard to catch. I had to do a lot of crazy things. I wish we got it on film. It would have been so awesome to watch, because I had to take that fish, change my angles. I saw her, I got up real close, I saw her, I had to spin the boat around, I couldn't catch her, I waited another hour for the sun to get higher, came back, she still wouldn't lock. I used a big Gangcraft swim bait to tease her, fire her up, sat back with a little worm, caught the fish. It was an epic catch, and that fish, kept me in 3rd place. I think I would have finished, 5th or 6th or something if I wouldn't have got that fish. So, but anyway, folks, this has been a wonderful week. Long story, from the 2005 All-American to here. But I tell you, I'm not leaving here not hungry. I'm really hungry for a major win. I really need one, we're not done here, folks. The story is to be continued. But thanks for watching, and thanks for following me at the All-American.